When the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times both do exposés on the Trump corruption scheme that has been flying under the radar and is being described as dangerous, it is time to give this lawlessness within the lawlessness the attention it deserves, and I have all the details for you next. I'm Dan, and welcome to another Occupy Democrats report. To get all of our updates on Trump's war on ethics, decency, and the Constitution, please hit that subscribe button. It is impossible to cover all of Trump's corruption, but the holiday has slowed the news cycle down so we can cover this corner of his house of cards, usually obscured by Epstein, Venezuela, and all those racist moves. Let's begin with the Wall Street Journal providing context for the scheme, and on the other side, an insider dishes the dirt and sounds the danger alarm.
In the first year of his first term, Trump granted a single pardon and commuted one sentence. This term, though, he pardoned more than 1,500 people on his first day alone, and has since granted clemency to a further 87 people and companies. The paper reports his new approach, driven in part by Trump's own experience as a criminal defendant. People close to him say has spawned a pardon shopping industry where lobbyists say their going rate is $1 million. Administration officials and lobbyists, they're describing two playbooks that have emerged. One involves the official path to dealing with members of the Trump administration. The other is finding Trump at Mar-a-Lago or even a White House event and simply asking for a pardon directly. Trump is often inclined to be helpful, administration officials said, particularly if someone says the magic words, unjust persecution. Many of Trump's controversial pardons, including for the founder of crypto exchange Binance and the former president of Honduras, have gone through the latter track, which some senior administration officials said worries them.
With context established by the Wall Street Journal, next up is Aaron Parnas, who perfectly framed the New York Times bombshell this way.
We have some news right now. Donald Trump's pardons have spurred a pay-for-play type scheme to open up. According to the New York Times, the going rate for a lobbyist in Washington, D.C. to lobby the Trump administration for a pardon for a friend or family member, $1 million. Some lobbyists are being paid more than $6 million, according to the New York Times, just to get in front of this White House to lobby for a pardon. And it comes as, according to the Daily Beast and others, we're now learning that Trump's recent pardon of that drug trafficker, the former Honduran president, his team didn't even know it was happening. Susie Wiles, his chief of staff, completely blindsided that he would pardon someone like that without letting her know first. These pardons have really marked a big part of the Trump administration. He has pardoned a lot of his friends, a lot of people close to the administration, and sometimes he's pardoning people without his people knowing, pardoning people he doesn't even know, and he's never even met.
And now for that New York Times expose, as told by Liz Oyer, a Department of Justice attorney who was run out of the DOJ by Trump. President Trump took pardon abuse to a new level this year with a string of dubious clemencies that together present a unique case study in how this unfettered executive power can be used to degrade, corrupt, and politicize the justice system. The president pardoned one of his supporters, Michelle Fiore, a Nevada politician who was convicted of federal charges that she used money from a police memorial fund for personal expenses, including for plastic surgery. He pardoned another supporter, Scott Jenkins, a former sheriff in Virginia who took bribes in exchange for badges. He pardoned Todd and Julie Chrisley, reality TV personalities imprisoned for tax evasion and defrauding banks, whose daughter campaigned for Mr. Trump. He commuted the sentence of Imad Zubairi, a major donor convicted of a host of crimes, including illegal lobbying. In my time as the pardon attorney, I led a team of approximately 40 lawyers and others whose sole job was to scrutinize applications for clemency. My tenure began during Mr. Biden's administration and continued into the early weeks of Mr. Trump's second term. But almost as soon as he took office, it became clear that my counsel was not wanted. On Inauguration Day, I read the news that he had pardoned about 1,500 people accused of crimes in connection with the January 6th Capitol riot. Though I had not been consulted, my staff and I were still expected to begin facilitating the releases of all those incarcerated. Mr. Trump pardoned Tim Lewicki, a developer accused of bid rigging, after playing a round of golf with one of his lawyers. He pardoned Juan Orlando Hernandez, the former president of Honduras, and a convicted drug trafficker who'd written Mr. Trump a letter casting himself as a victim of political persecution. And he pardoned Paul Walsack, a former nursing home executive who had pleaded guilty to tax crimes after his mother attended a Mar-a-Lago dinner. After pardoning Changpeng Zhao, the billionaire founder of the cryptocurrency exchange Binance convicted of money laundering violations, Mr. Trump told an interviewer, "I don't know who he is." Ignoring a careful, merit-based review of clemency applicants is a dangerous proposition. Our elected representatives are doing us no favors when they proceed as if what we are witnessing is typical or acceptable. Americans deserve an impartial assessment of all the misuses of the pardon power that we have seen from presidents of both parties. This shouldn't be at least, a partisan concern. It is an issue that should alarm anyone who cares to live in a safe, fair, and free country. Those are just the highlights. For the full story, please visit the New York Times website. This time around, Trump looks at everything through the lens of lawlessness. He discovered that the guardrails we thought were there aren't, and the ethics that comes along with the seat in the highest office are not compulsory. They're optional. The criminal in chief doesn't see risk in association with corruption, only reward. He has turned presidential pardons into transactions, a scheme that favors those who share his lawless spirit. He sees himself in each one of the criminals he frees, and in his twisted mind, their freedom from persecution represents his freedom from persecution. The man who is often described as a pervert in that other story that dominates the news has perverted the pardon system.